itself.
We're all tied up here with Team Liquid and Fnatic facing off. It's 1-1 in this best-of-5 series, and so far, Caldor's been pretty happy with the entire series.
Aren't you?
I'm pretty happy too. I just had a segue, man. That's how I enter you in, get you to talk, you know,
it's awesome. I like it. We have a 1-1. We wanted a 5 mapper. We're not there yet, but we are guaranteed to have 4, so that's a good start.
That is a good start, and you guys keep blowing us up with the entire series in your opinions. Here's another tweet that continues to occur here when you guys are at home talking about it. Team Liquid Leyline seals the 3-0 hopes of Fnatic. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a series, and my God, is it legendary?
It's awesome. It's really fun to watch these games so far. I also want to give a quick shout out to Wolf, who's currently watching the series as well. Definitely make sure that you check out the Korean broadcast too. We've been talking about L5, especially with their 11-0 thus far.
Yeah.
But of course, our series right now is pretty good. Nothing to be ashamed of.
And we're going to keep trucking here. Let's find out which battleground we're going to for game number 3. It is going to be Infernal Shrines here, and the pick is Team Liquid.
Yeah, and talking about the 10 or the 11-0 that L5 currently has, that's what Team Liquid is aiming for here.
Yes.
They want the 11-5, and Fnatic is the one team that could stand in their way, and did so on Warhead Junction, but now we're heading into Infernal Shrines as Team Liquid just tied the series up, and Fnatic chose the first pick.
Yep, Team Liquid facing the most difficult week of the entire HGC, it feels like. And so far, they're handling it quite well. But again, they still have more games to finish out. And then tomorrow, they have to face off against Dignitas, which will be a great one as well. So, going into Infernal Shrines is a battleground that we see our teams on more often. Now, I want to state that coming into game number 3, it's starting to mellow out a little bit. We're getting more into the meta picks, if you will, with Infernal Shrines being one of the staples here.
Yeah, we definitely do. And this is one of the things to really consider here. Because where did Fnatic get their win? It was on Warhead. Not a map that you usually practice too much, so they could come up with something that Team Liquid maybe didn't really expect here, and it worked extremely well for them. Now we're heading, of course, into the more normal battlegrounds, as you just pointed out, and on Cursed Hollow, Team Liquid just seems to be very difficult to beat these days, but now on Infernal Shrines, they need to repeat it if they want to take the lead in the series, and both of the teams not wasting any time with their bans.
Yep, Fnatic being taken out, Arthas on the opposing side. Fnatic says, thank you, we will take the Gul'dan back.
I am just waiting for the Nerf Hammer to hit Horrify. I'm not going to lie to you, I really believe that at this point, with Horrify getting just more and more value there, this is something that teams are starting to play more around every single game that we see, at least in HGC Europe. And in the last game as well, you could just see the value. Every time, that double Horrify that we saw at the bot lane when I think it was Lucio moved into a corner, and then Malfurion and a Greymane, if I'm not mistaken, dying there was pretty fantastic. So yeah, Gul'dan. He's definitely very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, the massive control that he brings to a fight has been devastating here in Europe, and we'll continue to see that here as we are going into our third map of the day. Greymane and a Nubrak picked up. So a Nubrak always being the quick counter to Gul'dan. If Greymane gets picked up, or if a Gul'dan gets picked up, you immediately move into the Nubrak. You get your dive available, and it also bolsters pretty well with that Greymane.
It's also pretty cool to just see how much value Nubrak has overall for that dive. And as Greymane is a hero that really wants to engage, this is something where Nubrak can help out, the two of them going in together. So right now, Greymane, of course, it's actually interesting that both of the heroes that were the key heroes for this matchup lost.
Yeah.
Team Liquid lost with the Vikings, Fnatic lost with Greymane, so now we have the 1-1.
That's just incredible to actually think about when you put it in that perspective. These heroes that have been carrying them through their matches, it seems like, when it comes to your opposing team, they are equals. You know, it really comes down to seconds for both of them. Lucio and ETC. And we get another key hero that we haven't seen in a while, but Fnatic keeps to keep pulling it out. It is our boy, ETC. Watch out for those engages.
ETC Breeze on that hero is a monster. And the one thing that we still have to talk about, of course, is the previous Best of 5 series these two teams played in Part 1. And as I said a bit earlier, Cursed Hollow was one of the maps that Team Liquid back then could decide in their favor. They lost, though, on Infernal Shrines. It's their map choice right now, but the last time they faced off against Fnatic here, they were beaten. It was one of the two maps that Fnatic could decide for themselves. So can they do that again? As you said, ETC is a good tool for them, and they love to play him here. Let's see if Breeze gets those engages that he really wants to set up kills.
Just goes to show, man, any given day, these two teams can just kind of outbest each other based on how they're playing in the meta, how well they're showing up, and how, as a team, they are working together towards one actual plan.
This is a constant theme that we have within the top 3 in Europe. The big 3 always at each other's throat. And I feel like there's one rule that we can't ignore, and it's if Dignitas gets to an offline final, they win it. Even if everybody, themselves included, say we're not feeling it right now. But besides that, it's always that battle, who's coming out on top, who's number 3, who's number 2, who's number 1. And this is what this weekend is all about.
Well, Tychus has been manned out here for Team Liquid, taking away from that synergy that we've talked about, the Lucio and Tychus being together, especially with being Infernal Shrines, the Control 2, great. Looking over to Fnatic, you have a Greymane and a new Barak. What are you thinking about banning out here?
At this point, you really need to think about banning out another support. You need to really ask yourself, okay, how much do we value not playing against the Malfurion on this map in particular, where the roots can really zone you out around the shrines, where they also can follow up on a stun from a Nubarak. Is that a hero that is ban-worthy? Are you more worried, on the other hand, as we see now Medivh being covered, about Hazobs once again setting these leyline seal kills up for his team and getting those engages? Since you have to realize that right now, Fnatic does not have the Malfurion that they try to use against the portals.
Yeah.
So they don't have that tool, and that might even make Medivh a bit more scarier to them. So those are probably their best choices at this point.
It looks like they choose to ban out the Hasselhoffs and his Medivh here, so we're not going to have those leyline seals coming in. Now, Team Liquid can look towards what they would like to pick up. I think the Malfurion is probably one of the go-tos you just want to move into right away. You want to be able to control that area. Malfurion is so great, again, with helping out with clearing out the shrine, the roots around the corridors, and also just the Twilight Dreams can be devastating against someone like HGC.
Yeah, at this point, you can even just wait a bit longer. There's very little chance that Fnatic goes into the double support now. We have seen that in the past, but I doubt that with the comp that they have here, with Gul'dan being one of the main damage dealers, they're actually going to attempt that. Another frontliner for Team Liquid is something that we can definitely expect, I would say.
Sure.
Also, of course, when it comes to the additional damage output, are they heading into that mage? We have a few available to them. We've seen a lot more focus on someone like Kel'Thas in the recent past. They have several players that can easily play that hero. We also still have Li Ming to consider, even though oftentimes there's an argument to be made for her not being as strong on this map than on others because of all those minions around the shrine fights blocking their path. And they go into the Vala for Darkmog, just bringing another auto attack damage dealer that has also the spread thanks to the multi-shot, so that they claim the objective, the Punisher, a little bit faster.
That Vala we were talking about in game number 1 here being available for Darkmog, his substantial movement and positioning always key when you have an Ariel there for that battery and the healing. Going to be great for both Greymane and Vala. I still think you want to move into a second warrior here with the new back being up, but they want to have the option to maybe go into a second support based on what Fnatic picks up.
Exactly, so they keep themselves flexible with the setup that they're currently running here. Oriel, of course, also really benefiting from that Vala damage output, and Greymane then later on can help her a lot with, of course, the auto attack damage then later on in the game as well. So it depends a bit on what exactly they want to skill into once they hit that 16 level. But for now, Fnatic, let's see how they are rounding out their own comp. What would definitely benefit them is another damage dealer. They can bring in a bit of a punch. They could also play this again a bit more melee heavy. They did that on the first map, even though one of the thought process back then was, of course, that pseudo-global with the hunt on Illidan, which influenced their picking process a lot. And they go into the Falstad and the Haka. So we have the frontliner that we were asking for, and we have the direct damage dealer with Falstad, also the disengage tool. Super important for them to use, and the Haka for more macro play. They have both of the Globus right now. They can really try to play around Team Liquid.
What do you think about Varian here for the final pickup? Just go in for the hard engages. I think it's one of my favorite things to run against a double global.
Varian is actually another really good choice here. The Haka, more so Falstad with the Mighty Gus could try and work around that a bit, but then of course it becomes a cooldown battle again.
Yeah.
And Varian wins that easily with a 12-second cooldown on the taunt. But this is definitely something that they could consider to do right now. Try to go in with the Nubarak, with Varian, lead the charge, and then Greymane goes in and tries to drop the target. Varian is really one of those heroes that is very dangerous and frightening, but hasn't really made it that heavily into the bans yet. We see him occasionally banned out as a second, but with these two teams being very familiar with each other's normal playstyle and the preference they have on certain heroes, we see very much the mind games coming into the bans themselves.
Well, it's going to be Ragnaros for the final pickup here for Team Liquid.
All right, Rag being taken here into the Gul'dan. Of course, aiming would once again slow things down a little bit with the Molten Core if a Punisher is being picked here. But yeah, nice setups. I would say I like Fnatic's draft maybe a little bit more, but the explosiveness that we have on the side of Team Liquid with Greymane, this is the danger that you, of course, have with that Ragnaros as well. If a Nubarak gets a good stun in, maybe even heading into a Cocoon and trying to proc Ragnaros' ult off the Cocoon. If you can get Cocoon in, you isolate the target, you get the stun in on the side of a Nubarak, and then you just like snap the damage immediately with Greymane and Ragnaros. You can more or less guarantee insta-kills. since Lucio, again, doesn't have a cleanse available. So Smexy will have to drop the sound barrier at the perfect moment in time if he really wants to save targets here. So that makes it a bit dangerous to them, I feel.
Yeah, that's the fear here. Nubrek is the only one that can really make that setup happen, besides from the Detainment Strike that can come out from Ariel, but it's going to be kind of difficult to pull off. So I am worried about Ragnaros actually connecting with that Sulfura Smash very often. But again, if they do burst somebody down, Greymane goes in and starts chunking.
Yeah, another point on the other hand to be made against that setup working is, you said, that's the fear here, unless we have Horrify.
Yes. At that point, Goldanis walks up and is like trying to fear the Ragnaros.
Exactly.
If you do mess up that timing, it's very difficult for Rag to be effective.
Exactly. So I doubt that Team Liquid is going to put all of their eggs in the basket. Yes, you could go for Cocoon here. I think it would be the more safe and stable play to simply play it around Locust Swarm. But yeah, because Gul'dan, if he just drops the Horrify, then you're not going to get that combo off. At least you shouldn't.
Well, let's do it. Game number 3. We're all tied up here. 1-1. Infernal Shrines, Team Liquid and Fnatic battling it out.
The third game starting up on Infernal Shrines, a 1-1 in the series, in this best of 5, as to the left, once again, we have Fnatic starting with Quapnix on the bird, Shrimpy on Gul'dan, Breeze on ETC, Dehaka played by Wooby, and Lucio dropping the beats with Smexy.
Team Liquid on the right side. Splendor will be playing Ariel. Watch out for his Aegis play. Blumby with the Nubrek going to be diving in and trying to set up this guy here, Darkmok, with his Ragnaros gameplay. Sulfura Smash galore. Hasselhoff is actually on the Vala, and Nurok will be on the Greymane.
All right, they're switching things up slightly here, just showcasing once again how much overlap they also have in their hero pools. Already, Breeze being pushed back here right away as the game starts. But yeah, it is definitely on. Both of these teams want to take the lead in this series. Block Party also on Breeze as the level 1 talent, an adjustment to the damage dealers on the side of Team Liquid. Normally we're not seeing him run that talent that often anymore, but with this much auto attack damage on the opposing side, they started to pick it up again.
Man, I just love watching the tank play from both these teams. They always anchor each other well. There's never a flank coming their way. It's just so great to watch that high-level play of warriors. And you know, Blumby in particular, he just scouted out that Darkmok, or scouted out that Dehaka that was coming in for a rotation to go for a pick within a second or two of it actually being effective.
Blumby is also one of these, he's very quiet, like he's that quiet ninja frontliner. I don't know how to call him, but he's one of those guys where you oftentimes, he doesn't make the insane flashy plays all the time, but he's just so super solid, and you only if you really watch him specifically can you see how much of an impact he has in every single one of these matches that they're playing here.
He's methodical. He moves in, he gets the correct plays, but it's nothing that's going to be something that people are talking about, which is unfortunate because he's such a great tank.
Did you just say he's German?
I did not say. I basically did with more words. Okay, so there you go. Well, our rotations begin between the middle and bottom for Team Liquid and Fnatic. A bit more slower overall compared to the pace that we've been seeing in these mid to late games. And it seems to be making sense, right? In the early game, they want to make sure they're both on a footing here to where an advantage for the opposing team isn't very apparent.
Splendor riding the money pick here once and for all, settling the question, what's the best mount in the game? To the top, the Shrine is activating now though, and this is where the party really begins. Level 4 is something that both of these teams are looking to pick up before they engage into a big battle here. We have Falstad now rotating to the bot lane, again using that global. So we have 2 global heroes currently on the lanes, trying to secure experience, and they can start to join these team fights whenever they want to, putting Fnatic into a pretty comfortable situation as we are seeing the first Shrine activating.
It's really a good point. The more I think about the Ragnaros pick, the more I feel like it's really strong here for helping out with this global push. You clear pretty quickly with Ragnaros. You're also able to use the Molten Core in case they go too heavily. And you can leave Greymane, who's actually pretty solid at dealing with the Shrines in the very top. So Vala, rotating between the middle and the bottom lane, will hope to soak, while 4 minutes for Team Liquid rotate the top to start the Shrine.
The big question here is really, is Fnatic at some point going to fully commit to the Shrine or not? They always can move in with the 2 heroes they have here, but at this point they're just trying to zone out the Vala and gain as much experience in the middle and the bot lane as they possibly can.
The movement from Team Liquid, man. Hasselhoff misses out on 2 of the minions, but he has his teammate rotate down Darkmok after being in the top, which made Fnatic play safer, which allowed Team Liquid to get 7 more shots. Here's the rotation, though. It's been called.
There we go. They're dragging him in. They go for Blumby. A good stun. Is it enough? It is not. That's the kill. A 5 versus 3 for a few seconds as both globals make their way to the top lane. Great coordination, good shot calling here by Fnatic, well done. And it was a close call, but at the end of the fight, the Beetle is still dead.
Beetle is down. Wubby in the middle, though. Taking some damage here from Hasselhoff. Should be able to kill him off. So there you go. Team Liquid decides we're not going to win the Shrine phase. They rotate to the middle instead. Look for a kill, but overall, attempting to keep experience.
Yeah, overall, this was one of those moments where Team Liquid now can, of course, try and burst down the Punisher as fast as they can. Simply go moving through the wall, providing the vision, and with the help of the Molten Core, they should easily be able to destroy the Punisher and will probably only lose a bit of their wall.
Yeah, there they go. Bring it down. Notice that Dark Mach is using his AoE spells to kill out the minion wave, which makes it harder for Fnatic to push in and apply damage themselves. This will be a clear up there of the Punisher, so all said and done. Fnatic takes the opportunity to rotate out in the middle here, grab a couple of turrets, easing those globals, and that poke there from Goldan effectively.
Fnatic puts themselves ahead a bit, but I still want to talk about something you pointed out, or you scratched upon a bit earlier. Hazo-Ops on the way that he was kind of counter-soaked here. Fnatic played extremely well with vision. They just hit the entire time, so it was very difficult for Team Liquid to judge how many heroes were actually active in the mid and the bot lane. And Hazops always took the safe path, even though it cost him several seconds, and as you pointed out, he lost 1 or 2 minions. He played it extremely safe. If he makes the mistake of taking the direct path between the mid and the bot lane, he would have died. The entire time Fnatic was just waiting for him to make that move, and it happens so often. So Hazops taking the safe path and just making that happen seems like nothing big, but it's such an easy mistake to make, and so many people make it, and all of a sudden it's a kill that enables your opponent to just take a full lead. And Team Liquid has completely denied that to Fnatic by Hazops playing it incredibly smart and not getting greedy.
Yeah, it's opportunity cost, really. Look at it as I lose 3 minions here, or I lose my life, and I lose maybe 9 minions, because you lose some in the middle and the 7 in the bottom. So Team Liquid takes that, thinks about it mathematically, and goes with an easy choice. Playing safe and losing a little bit is better than losing a lot. Team Liquid now at this point are starting to fall behind, though. This double global is really getting to a point where it's being hard to deal with, so they're trying to soak, grab what they can before level 10 hits. They grab the mercenaries in the bottom left, grab everything that you see is currently red, also grabbing the mercenaries in the top right corner, just to get things flinging towards Fnatic to keep their globals at bay.
One of the important things, of course, was also to realize that it's not only about the damage that the Immortal itself did, or the Punisher, but also the quick rotation to the bot lane where they gain additional structure damage. So that was really important. And that puts Fnatic into a spot where they will hit a very early level 10, and this is another Punisher for them. This is one of the dangers of playing on Infernal Shrines, that you might end up in a situation where you get snowballed against. And that's something that Fnatic is currently doing. They're saying, we have the Shrine, we have level 10, and we need to now check out what Team Liquid is doing, because Team Liquid, of course, is not just going to sit there and say, guys, we can't do anything. They're going to try to look for value somewhere else, and you need to meet that movement.
And look at this. Fnatic, now 10, knows that Team Liquid will try to grab experience elsewhere, whether it be turrets on the top. They put all the members up there, and the 3 that aren't globals rotate up there to feint a possible aggressive play, while the globals deal with the Punisher and have the chance to snap engage if they have to. Great read by Fnatic, and a great way to slow down Team Liquid from getting 10.
Yeah, you always need to make sure that you make these safe plays. Very well thought out. It looks sometimes it's a bit random, but it isn't. These teams are currently thinking about every single move they make. Every rotation from every hero is well thought out. Who's where? How do we use our globals right now? What is off cooldown? What can we do? Is Team Liquid trying to push to the top lane? Do we have to defend there because they're attempting to get more structure damage done? And then Fnatic reacts. Team Liquid does the same thing now. So they're bait in again. They know Fnatic is already splitting up to the top lane. All of a sudden, Fawcett and Dehaka appear. They send Greymane over to soak the experience for now. But Fnatic, of course, is starting to edge out a bit of an advantage and are now looking at a 1-level lead.
Looking at a 1-level lead, but Team Liquid does have their heroics. And to note, Ragnaros didn't use his Molten Core on the bottom. Fnatic played a bit of a bluff there. They put a couple people on the bottom to look like they were going to go for a push, but with the globals being in the top lane, Molten Core didn't have to be used. So that means Team Liquid can go in for a fight within the next couple of levels and force a situation to happen. Or, of course, keeping that Molten Core, they can use it on the Shrine phase, which is much more important than defending a quarter health on a fort.
Team Liquid is pretty impressive. If you think about what Fnatic did thus far with the 2 globals, how smart they engaged all of these situations, and that they picked up 2 of the Punishers, and then you look at the lead in experience for Fnatic and you realize it's not quite a level. That is pretty impressive. Liquid is making very smart rotations here, but you can really tell that it's difficult for them to keep up with the two globals. Fnatic is playing around them, but with the level 10 abilities, we're now all of a sudden, of course, looking at the teamfight potential and the synergy between heroic abilities we've been talking about during draft. So that's something where the next teamfights from here on are going to be super cool.
The Globals do find a slight moment to open up, though. They get some damage in the fort in the top right corner. Shrine should be activating. Oh my god! The blind Sulfurous Smash from Darkmok to land on Falstad. Wow.
That was beautiful. That Sulfurous Smash was absolutely fantastic. I mean, you can't hit a better one than what Darkmok just did.
And here's why it worked, though.
The stun.
The stun, well, the stun worked too, but also because he used Tailwind in the top right corner of the barrel roll, he lost out on the ability to dodge that. And then we had an auto attack come in to stop the Tailwind from giving the movement speed to Falstad. So Darkmok was comfortable with just dropping a Sulfurous Smash in because of the trade not being available for Falstad and him accidentally using an E. Incredible.
That was so good. And how long did it take Falstad to die? Half a second? I mean, everyone was on point. The Sulfurous Smash hits, and I think milliseconds after that, we see immediately that Rain of Vengeance connect on the side of Vala. And then he's done for. So now we still have 5 heroes on the map, but look at what Fnatic is doing. Going straight up to the Shrine. They go down to the bot lane, and they are starting to put some pressure onto the wall at the keep. And that is going to force a few heroes of Team Liquid back fast.
Fnatic applying the pressure here. They can leave a couple members on the top to deal with that and grab the Punisher. Here comes Ariel and a Nubarak.
Nubarak is like, Houston, I have a problem here.
Calls in the full brigade. Blumby on the rotation. Looked like he might go in for a big flank. The knockback actually knocks Blumby into a drag. Wubby almost helping his team get a kill there. Blumby will survive though. Splinter there to provide the necessary heals.
So now they broke through the wall and they had Falstad in the entire setup in the middle of the map. They are still at the bot lane here with 2-3 heroes. They're going to put the pressure on. Of course, they're not going to get the Punisher. Team Liquid left Ragnaros at the top lane and they are now 1 minion away from getting the Punisher. They, of course, wait that out. They are not trying to take it at this point. They are intentionally delaying it. But Fnatic is still looking where to make a play. And Team Liquid is realizing, boys, we don't actually know where these guys are. Let's stay here in the middle and not rush all to the top because they might try and make another play for our keep.
And Fnatic, not being given opportunity, will just take the mercenaries instead. Put some pressure on the middle of the fort here. Finally, with them showing self, we're going to have Darkmok in the top there. Move in and clear out the minion waves, getting experience. And Fnatic, by the way, with these small maneuvers, have gained a nice lead here. They are moving towards 16 a little bit quicker than their opponents. About, what is that, 3/4, half a level. Finally, Darkmok is in a spot where he can get the last one. He does grab it here, and this is why Team Liquid is grabbing it. They want to be able to force a fight or force an engage before 16 hits for Fnatic.
Yes, that, and they have a camp at the top lane now. Also, we have the Haka at the bottom of the map, trying to see if they maybe can grab that level 16 even earlier than that, so they're moving in here as is already. But the Arcane Punisher, this is like the most dangerous Punisher still, and this is going to get value for them.
It is deadly. It dives in on the keep. We're going to have members working on the wall up here up front. Dahaka has disappeared from the mini-map, so Team Liquid is going to start to retreat. Here in Wubby, though, as he brushhuckers in. We're going to have Quietness looking for an engage. Can they get Blumby?
All of them. There's the drag, the gust. Oh, can they get Blumby? They can't. Maybe. That's Ragnaros with the ult. And that drop. Once again, he's down. And that was well played, but it came at a cost.
It did come at a cost. This keep is low, down to a quarter health. It will survive for now, but it is easy pickings now for Team Liquid if they want to go for an engagement. Also, the next rotation of shrines, we should have another mercenary camp available. And if Team Liquid can get that, they can threaten for that key to be taken out.
It was a really cool scenario that we saw happening up to the top, though. Fnatic with a very good flank with the Haka. That didn't really work properly. Breeze already moving out. And then the Falstad fly, that was also very good. Just gusting everyone else away to open up a window where they can drop a Nubarak. And even though he started to move back, they were still able to take him out. But as we said, the keep is extremely low though. But Fnatic gained some momentum that they could translate into grabbing a camp, and now they move into the middle. 16 versus 16 talents, so both of the teams are on the same level now. And we see even more value gained by another structure demolished at that top lane.
Asuab goes in, he's going to drop down the multi-shot here, getting the slow on top of Gul'dan. Quacknix will be forced to use the Mighty Gust to make sure his team can escape.
Yeah, and immediately Falstad with a get out of my lane move. Immediately gusting them away here. And that was actually a close call, because what you saw from Vala was a frost shot that was hit towards them. And if that frost shot hits Gul'dan, then they have to fight.
Yep. Slows them down, and then suddenly Gul'dan can't get away. We're going to see the rotations happening once again here for Team Liquid. They're attempting to grab Dahaka, who's in the bottom right. Wubby is starting to back here. Can Nurok get him? He is so close.
Oh, if he sees him there, he can simply drop one cocktail and Dahaka is in a lot of trouble.
Dahaka barely sneaking away. Team Liquid will take the opportunity to grab the mercenaries in the bottom and push in this wall, get it broken open for that fort, and now a shrine activating.
Yeah, he could maybe not see him, but he could definitely smell him. I heard Dahaka's a smelly fella. That was very close. Especially with all the stuns around as well. Oriel moving in with the potential Detainment Strike and Nubarak being there too. So you can be locked down hard and then taken apart if you are not getting that portal in.
Yeah, dead, 100%. But Wubby lives, and he'll be in the top lane, putting pressure on his opponents there, which will effectively keep his keep alive. Shrine now activating.
This is a big one.
It is a big one for both of our teams here. Keep for Fnatic if they win this, or at least a potential so. Team Liquid can save their keep if they grab this.
Yeah, they're trying here. Darkmog moving in. 6 against 4 stacks already. The team's looking for a drag. There it is against Nurok. They're going for Greymane. Greymane is so low. Oriel saving him, at least for now. Here comes Ragnaros with his ult. Nurok is still alive somehow. The sound barrier dropped and Fnatic is in full retreat.
Back and out there. Splendor with the solid heal, but Blumby gets picked on his Bumblebee there, getting taken out. Hasselhoff's on the right side. They don't have a tank anymore, and Team Liquid has to retreat.
Fnatic with full pest control today. No love for the bug. He gets taken out time after time. This looked like they had no chance anymore. They were on the way back. They did not get the kill against Greymane. We saw Ragnaros with a great ult, and then all that pressure coming out from Team Liquid. Sound barrier was already gone. Fnatic on the move back, and then that one moment where Dahaka turns around and says, boys, I got this. I got the drag here. Let's take this guy down, and then we can snowball it from here. And just look at this pressure play at this point.
Fnatic moving full on in here, getting the Molten Core out. Molten Swing does take Molten Members though. Wubby turns around and grabs the drag on Splendor. He will use the Aegis, but the Punisher's gonna jump in. Boom! There goes Splendor.
There goes Splendor, and this is a bad moment for Team Liquid. Molten Core is over. Yes, Fnatic is low, but Lucio is already starting to heal, and he heals quite a bit. They don't have a healer. Liquid attempting to defend this, but that Punisher is nearly on full health. He's on 80% at this point. Moves through the keep, and somehow Fnatic is in a position where they could even end if Team Liquid makes another mistake.
Top Ferris match comes out. Hits 3 members here. Darkmonk's low on health, hanging out for a heal. Blumby's diving in. The Horrify though, and Hasu's on the back. He goes for the rain. He's living for a moment here, but Schwimpy finishes the kill.
They are on the core right now. Darkmonk is already low. It's 2 heroes down, 3 against 5. Fnatic moves in. They have the level 20s now on top of everything else as well. Darkmonk is super low. Darkmonk, Whoopi tries to get him in with a drag. They're moving for him, but the core is dropping, and that's GG as we see Team Liquid defeated on Infernal Shrines. Fnatic with the lead in the series.
Fnatic taking it here 2-1. Still have more matches around the corner here, but again, small mistakes just slowly snowballing into a victory. Splendor getting caught there in the bottom right. Unfortunate for him there with Wubby hitting the important tongues, and that was just a push all the way to the core.
Last time they faced each other, Cursed Hollow won by Team Liquid. This time, Cursed Hollow decided in favor of Liquid. Infernal Shrines, one of the 2 maps that Fnatic was able to win. This time the same picture, they take it again. But the big game changer was Warhead Junction so far, which was not played last time. So we have Fnatic all of a sudden in a lead. And with that in mind, I cannot wait to find out what the next map is.
Oh, the next Battleground is going to be a fun one. Of course, we'll have to wait till we come back from the commercial break to find out what we're going to be getting. But game number 4 is going to be coming very soon here. And you know what? I mean, we could always just go straight to game 5 and give the Team Liquid. That way we can have our tight series.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too, man.